Rockford Public Schools has been known for its tradition of excellence in sports and in academics. But what most people might not know is how outstanding their arts programs are. To be more precise, their music and choral program. Rockford is known all over Michigan and the nation for its choirs. From being honored as one of Michigan's top choirs at Michigan Youth Arts Festival to performing at Carnegie Hall in New York City, they truly represent a tradition of excellence. This past fall, the Rockford Choirs were lucky enough to have a world-renowned conductor, composer, and arranger visit and work with the choirs. The 88-year-old Miss Alice Parker has conducted and commissioned choirs all around the world for over 60 years. Beyond the Rock was lucky enough to get an exclusive interview with Miss Parker to ask her what music means to her.
I always evidently responded very strongly when I was a tiny child and always joined in with any singing that was going on. And very encouraging parents. There was a lot of singing at home. It wasn't fancy. They weren't educated musicians, but they were good church people and school people, and they knew lots and lots of folk songs, and they encouraged us in every way to sing along. So it's a wonderful environment for a kid to grow up in. I started writing pieces when I was 8. It always felt very natural to me to play with the materials of music as a composer, and not something that was off in some foreign land or long ago or something. It was right here. They were materials for me to work with. And it wasn't until I got to college that I began to learn what I was doing intuitively. And then years and years of doing the arranging with Robert Shaw that really taught me the craftsmanship of writing for voices.
It was this craftsmanship of choral music that Miss Parker appreciates and thrives on seeing come to life.
I decided very early on that I was only going to write for performance. I was not going to write pieces and have them pile up in a drawer that I'd never heard. Because it doesn't feel to me as if a piece is finished until I've heard it, and I've heard somebody else conduct it, and preferably I've had a chance to conduct it myself, because I learned so much from seeing how other people react to what I've put down on the page. Having people sing music as if it had always been there, my music as if it had always been there, and that's an enormous reward.
Miss Parker was given the opportunity to commission a piece for Rockford's very own men's a cappella group, the Rockford Aces. The piece is an American folk song entitled Cindy. The Aces were the first group in the world to perform this piece, as it was arranged just for them.
The main reason I came here is because I got invited, and along with the invitation, I guess it came along, I think I asked for a recording, to have a recording. And the instant I heard that recording, I thought, my goodness, this is an exceptional group, and I really feel that way about it. So then from being open to accepting this, I thought, I really want to do this. This is a group that will be fun to visit, and I knew without ever meeting Jed Scott that he and I would get along, and we have had a wonderful time together. And we didn't know each other ahead of time, but something in music, it's so easy to cross over. You become best friends with somebody you didn't know before because you have this huge bond uniting you with this insatiable curiosity about music.
The Rockford Aces have been a men's a cappella group for 6 years, founded by Mr. Jed Scott. He gave us insight on Miss Parker's visit and the piece she commissioned.
I presented to the Rockford Education Foundation during their January grant proposal session. I presented to have a grant that would include the commissioning of a new work for the Aces to celebrate their 5th anniversary, and then also include some money to bring that composer in to work with the Aces. I gave them a list of composers that I would like to work with, and it included Alice Parker among several others. When they approved our grant, I immediately moved Alice to the top of my list as someone I would love to work with. I programmed for the Aces works by Alice Parker, I think every year that they've existed, and I just love her writing and her creative approach to folk songs.
A few members of the Rockford Aces expressed their thankfulness for Miss Parker's visit.
I think it's really awesome to have Alice Parker here to work with us because personally I've been singing her arrangements for the last 4 years in choir, and it's been a name that I've seen on just so many pieces. I guess I never really thought about who she actually was, and I never dreamed about being able to actually work with her or sing one of her pieces that she wrote especially for Aces.
Alice is here because, she's been around for so long and she really knows what music has done for the world, and so she can put all this experience behind her, and the fact that she wrote a piece specifically for the Aces is just amazing.
She's like the mother of all, composers, and she's coming to us, Rockford, and that's just awesome. What I really learned from Alice is that there's a lot more to music than what's on the paper, and there's so much more than just black and white ink on the paper. There's like, phrasing and so much more to it.
The Aces will also take Cindy and a handful of other pieces to the 8th Annual World Choir Games in Riga, Latvia.
The last time Aces went to the World Choir Games, we actually sang one of Alice Parker's arrangements.
Taking this to a whole new level on a different country is just going to be an amazing experience.
Rockford choirs will also bring select women's and mixed ensembles to Latvia for the games.
Mostly, I get to enjoy doing music, which is what I really love. And I'll be able to sing an Alice Parker piece and all that good stuff.
I think I was put into the world to respond to music. It seems to me music is exactly the language of our emotions, so we're hunting for that emotion as we do the piece, or a combination of emotions that make that piece come alive. The music itself has emotion, and it's up to us as we interpret it, as we perform it, to tap into that emotion which is there already.
Rockford will always remember this visit from Miss Alice Parker. Her love for music inspired so many students. Rockford Choirs has truly been fortunate to have Miss Parker work with them.
I've just been incredibly lucky in my life to be able to do what I absolutely love to do and share it with so many really interesting and fabulous people.
The Rockford Choirs will cherish this experience for years to come, because without music, the world would be silent. For Beyond the Rock News, I'm Taylor LaPrairie. Thank you, Miss Parker.